Attention to all devoted Dallas Cowboys supporters. There's breaking news shaking up the NFC East, and it could completely alter the landscape. Something major is brewing, a development that may directly influence the Cowboys' pursuit of another championship. We're talking about a potential power shift that could leave one of their division rivals struggling for years to recover. Before diving into the details, if you consider yourself a true member of Cowboys Nation, hit that subscribe button and show your dedication. Let's build this community stronger than ever. Share this with fellow Dallas fans and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Now, let's get straight into the story. Recently, the NFL world has been buzzing with talk surrounding the Las Vegas Raiders and their defensive powerhouse, Max Crosby. And this isn't just random chatter. Multiple credible sources report that several top contenders have already reached out to the Raiders to inquire about Crosby's availability. While Las Vegas hasn't openly placed him on the trade block, the fact that they're entertaining calls suggests they know his value is sky high, and they're willing to listen to serious offers. For a team like the Cowboys, always searching for that final piece to propel them towards Super Bowl glory, this kind of opportunity is exactly what turns potential into dominance. Offensively, Dallas is stacked. They have the weapons, the explosiveness, and the playmakers to compete with anyone. But defensively, the story is different. Their unit has been uneven, struggling to find a consistent identity capable of standing tall in the postseason. Edge defense and run stopping have been persistent weak spots. If the Cowboys truly want to ascend from good to elite, pursuing a player like Max Crosby could be that bold, season-defining move. It's the type of aggressive step that separates playoff contenders from championship frontrunners, a calculated gamble that can completely shift a franchise's trajectory. Now, let's take a closer look at Crosby himself. The Raiders signed him to a 3-year, $106.5 million extension, cementing him as one of their most valuable assets. That contract underscores how highly the organization regards him, while also giving them leverage in any trade discussions. However, with the Raiders languishing near the bottom of the AFC West, there's growing speculation that a roster rebuild could be imminent. In that scenario, moving Crosby, if offered a substantial package of draft picks and young talent, might make strategic sense. Yet, there's another layer to this: Crosby's mindset. He's fiercely competitive, not the type to patiently endure a rebuilding phase. He wants to win now, and that drive could influence how this situation unfolds. Here's where things get especially intriguing for the Cowboys. Many fans might ask, why target Crosby when we already have Micah Parsons? It's a valid question. Parsons is a phenomenal athlete, but he and Crosby bring entirely different skill sets. Parsons is a dynamic hybrid, a linebacker who can blitz, drop into coverage, and create chaos anywhere on the field. Crosby, however, is a true three-down defensive end, a relentless force against both the run and the pass, precisely the kind of presence Dallas's defense has been missing. Statistically, when comparing their 2024 performances and adjusting for games played, Crosby's production holds up impressively. His sack rate, pressure consistency, and disruptive plays rival Parsons, but where he really shines is in his run defense and endurance. Crosby can play over 90% of defensive snaps and still perform at an elite level, a rare trait in today's NFL. Coaches view him as the type of cornerstone talent who elevates everyone around him. Parsons is the explosive playmaker who can flip a game in a single moment. Crosby is the tone setter who dictates the game's rhythm from start to finish. He doesn't just make highlights, he controls the trenches, frustrates offensive linemen, and imposes his will for 4 quarters. That's the difference between a superstar and a cornerstone. And let's be honest, the Cowboys' defensive balance has been off. Their run defense ranks among the league's bottom 10, surrendering nearly 5 yards per carry on outside runs. That vulnerability is a ticking bomb against top-tier playoff teams that thrive on exploiting defensive edges. If Dallas wants to contend deep into January, securing a player like Crosby could be the key to finally plugging that hole and unleashing a defense worthy of their championship-caliber offense. Now, imagine this: pairing Max Crosby with Osa Odigizua, Kenny Clark, and a speed threat like James Houston. That front seven would be a nightmare for any offense in the league. Crosby and Houston attacking off the edges would create constant pressure, forcing quarterbacks into rushed throws and costly mistakes. Meanwhile, the interior duo of Clark's raw strength and Osa's quickness would collapse pockets from within, completely disrupting offensive rhythm. This wouldn't just enhance the Cowboys' pass rush, it would transform their run defense too, turning Dallas into a more balanced, aggressive, and intimidating unit overall. The real beauty of Crosby's game lies in his reliability. Adding a player of his caliber would send shockwaves through the entire defense. His presence would allow defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus to simplify the scheme, relying more on a strong four-man rush rather than heavy blitzing, which often leaves the secondary vulnerable. That's crucial because while Dallas's secondary has shown potential, it still needs that extra boost from the front line to become truly elite. With Crosby anchoring the defense, the entire group could rise from inconsistency to dominance, potentially becoming one of the league's top defenses in efficiency, takeaways, and overall impact. Let's look at the numbers, because stats paint a vivid picture. Even under cautious projections, if Crosby delivers roughly 11 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, and 60 quarterback pressures, the ripple effect would be massive. Those numbers alone could elevate turnover rates, disrupt offensive timing, and completely alter game momentum, particularly in playoff football where every snap and every possession counts. Currently, Dallas ranks outside the top 10 in critical defensive categories like time to throw disruption in turnover creation. Bringing in Crosby could be the spark that flips those metrics in their favor. Of course, some fans might say the Raiders aren't just going to hand him over. And that's absolutely right. Crosby isn't a player Las Vegas would move lightly. They value him tremendously, and it would take a legitimate, aggressive offer to get their attention. But make no mistake, the trade buzz is real. Teams are calling, and Dallas needs to be right there in the mix. This move isn't simply about acquiring another talented player. It's about sending a message. It's about proving the Cowboys are serious contenders willing to take bold risks to win now. For Dallas, a trade like this could redefine their season, possibly even their identity. Crosby isn't a luxury piece. He's the difference maker who can solidify the edge, set a physical tone, and inject relentless intensity into the defense. If the Cowboys truly believe their championship window is open, they need to be asking one question: what will it take to bring Max Crosby to Dallas? The price may be steep, draft picks, young talent, or both, but the reward, a dominant, game-wrecking defense capable of carrying them deep into January, is worth it. So, Cowboys fans, as we move through this pivotal stretch of the season, keep a close watch on this storyline, because if Dallas actually pulls off this trade, it could be the defining move that elevates them from contenders to powerhouses. The NFL rewards boldness. Sometimes one fearless decision can define an entire era. The only question now is, are the Cowboys ready to take that leap? Do they have the drive to go all in for a player who could reshape their defense into one of the most feared in the league? It's a thrilling question to consider as the trade deadline approaches. But before we wrap up, hit that like button if you want to keep seeing the latest Cowboys news in your feed. It only takes a second and it really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. And now, Cowboys Nation, it's your turn to sound off. What's your take? Should Dallas make a serious push for Max Crosby? Would you part with draft picks or players to bring in a game-changing defender like him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter and help fuel this community. Remember, the Cowboys are constantly evolving, and your voice keeps this conversation alive. Stay tuned because I'll be back soon with more updates as we move deeper into this crucial stretch of the season. Every decision, every move now could shape the team's future. Thanks for sticking around. And as always, stay loyal, stay fired up, and keep that Cowboy spirit alive.